11, the nation's largest oil refinery closed. Restrictions in North Carolina waived to allow more fuel trucks through. The Colonial Pipeline, responsible for pumping oil to most of the East Coast, closed and not expected to reopen until the weekend. That's shooting gas prices up as much as 40 cents overnight in some places. Our Amy Cutler tweeting these images within the past 2 hours. $2.55 in Fayetteville, $2.44 in Harnett County, and $2.79 at a Shell station in Dunn. In Durham, we saw prices around $2.44 at the Shell and BP stations on Miami Boulevard. The governor declaring a state of emergency late today, and the attorney general warning gas stations not to price gouge. CBS North Carolina's Michael Hyland in Raleigh with the warnings for drivers and business owners. Michael?
At this station in North Raleigh, unleaded gas is going for $2.49, all the way up to just over $3 for premium. And that's similar to what we're seeing at a lot of stations right around here. But for those of you gassing up for the holiday weekend, the Attorney General's office has a warning about price gouging. Gas prices climbed so quickly, some drivers had trouble keeping up.
They jumped from $2.19 to, I think, $2.49, some places $2.39.
You're paying $2.59. Oh,
wow, I hadn't even looked at it, just assumed.
But state investigators want you to look closely. The price gouging law is in effect amid concerns about the fuel supply.
Especially like growing up on the coast, I mean, we've seen when a hurricane comes, you see gas go up $1 in a day.
The law prevents sellers from charging prices that are unreasonably excessive. We asked Kevin Anderson at the Attorney General's office for more clarity. What does unreasonably excessive actually mean?
Well, that's a good question. It really isn't specified any more than that in the statute, so that's the general standard, is unreasonably excessive.
He says investigators will look at the average price in the 2 months before the state of emergency. They also look at whether there were legitimate additional costs for the seller. During last year's gas shortage, the Attorney General's office received about 1,500 complaints. The office then issued subpoenas to 9 gas stations and a wholesaler. Did anything come of that?
Well, fortunately, part of what came of that is that some of the stations we found actually hadn't charged the posted prices, and then once we notified them, took them down.
Though the law isn't specific, Anderson encourages drivers who see something unusual to report it and let his office look into it. And you can do that online or on the phone. We have all the contact information you need on our WNCN mobile news app. The price gouging law is in effect for the next 45 days. Live in Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS North Carolina.
Michael.